First tonight, we have been talking about COVID-19 data with Jeff Keeling on a weekly basis, but illness isn't the only source of suffering. Jeff has been following employment data since the beginning of the pandemic, and he has seen signs the recovery has slowed the past couple of months. Jeff, thanks for joining us tonight. Tell us what you're finding in the unemployment numbers first.
Yeah, Sarah, thanks. Well, Northeast Tennessee unemployment rate, it improved steadily after the crash. It was at 14.3% in April. It dropped all the way to 5.5% in September. That's really not that bad, but that reversed course in October, and the rate rose back to 7.3%. Now, if you'll pull up graphic number 1, if we can see that, you'll see that just today, and that's the bold number over on the right, Tennessee's Department of Labor reported 597 new unemployment claims for Northeast Tennessee. That's for 8 counties. And that's the highest number in 12 weeks.
So, Jeff, that doesn't sound very encouraging, but how about the ongoing unemployment claims?
Yeah, so those are much lower than they were this summer. If you look at graphic number 2, you see in the dark blue numbers there, they're about a quarter of what they were in August when they were over 11,000. But they've kind of been stuck in neutral for the last few weeks. And if you look to the far left of that chart, they were at 1196 before the pandemic started. So they're still more than double what they were when we went into this thing.
Well, even if a 7% unemployment rate doesn't sound horrible by historic standards, is there other data that plays into this? How does that look?
Yeah, there is other data. You've got to look at labor force and jobs, not just the unemployment rate. And there, unfortunately, the picture actually gets worse. If you pull up graphic number 3, we can see how, as soon as I find it there, the other parts of the state have had a higher percentage of a lower percentage of decrease in jobs. If you look at the change in total jobs year to year is down 7.6% in our 8-county area. It's down 4.8% in Tennessee and 5.4% in the U.S. And then if you look at the labor force, ours has dropped 3.7% compared to a year earlier. Tennessee's is down just 0.7%. So in a nutshell, our region's lost a higher percentage of jobs than other parts of the state and the country as a whole. And so our unemployment rates are a little skewed because of that, because people are dropping out of the formal labor force.
Sounds like there are a lot of people in difficult situations with Christmas coming next week. Your opinion, is there any relief in sight?
Well, jobs-wise, it's hard to say. The signs aren't real good there. UT Knoxville economic researcher and professor Larry Kessler, he said yesterday that makes some type of unemployment benefits extension, something Congress hasn't done yet, but they've been wrestling with, really important.
It's very important, at least on a micro level, that UI benefits are hopefully expanded, or at least whether it's not expanded to more people, but at least expanded in terms of the number of weeks that it's provided for.
Okay, so Jeff, where are these job losses taking place? Because we're hearing about Ballad needing nurses, and we've heard from employers who say they just cannot find people to fill these positions. Is this happening evenly?
There's some good research going on surrounding that, and unfortunately it isn't happening evenly. And yeah, some employers are having trouble filling positions, but there's no way vacancies are going to offset 17,000 fewer jobs in Northeast Tennessee than there were a year ago. Kessler pointed to a research group at Harvard's Track the Recovery website, and that's really breaking down jobs data, including by wage rate and wage range. Here's what he said about what they've found.
Employment levels among higher wage workers, especially those that can work from home, has largely recovered to levels that we saw prior to the pandemic. But employment levels among lower wage workers is still severely depressed. And we're seeing families still dealing with food insecurity and struggling day to day on to deal with their finances.
Jeff Keeling providing a little bit of perspective in just a sea of numbers. Jeff, we appreciate you being with us tonight and putting some perspective to all this.
Thank you, Sarah.